Hey YouTube, I'm here to talk about the fiio e11 headphone amplifier. Basically, this is a portable amplifier that you can take out with you in public. Um, you can use it with any kind of MP3 player you want. I use it with my iPod Touch. And basically, here's a quick review about the amplifier. As you can see right there, here's your input and your output. For your input, you input the MP3 source in here while your headphones come out of the output. Over here you have your volume knob, and if you can see here, once you turn it on, the LED for the power shows on, showing you that it is on. Um, the only time it turns off was when you actually turn it off, and when the battery is all depleted. And there's also another LED for the charge. So when you're charging your amplifier, it does glow red. And one thing that I don't like about these amplifiers is that while you're charging it, it will not you can't use it at all. So basically, while you're charging it, you're gonna have to wait until it charges up to use it. They should have made it so while you're charging it, you still can listen to it, but they didn't. So that's another bad part about these amplifier. Also, if I did not mention, the price on here is really cheap. Most amplifier will cost you about $100 to $200. However, this one only will cost you about $55. Great deal for a great amplifier. Also, if you see here, you have your switch. This is the EQ switch. And basically, what that does is that it changes the bass. So basically, at 0, there's no change in the bass. However, if you put it at 1, there will be a slight bass change. Basically, the bass will be a bit more forward. And number 2, and basically it's more forward, and brings out a lot of bass to your headphones. Over here is the gain switch, and basically I believe what it does is that it just turns up the volume more. Basically, your highs, mids, and lows will also increase just by a bit, from what I listen to. Also, this right here is your button to take off the lid. So you just press on this and you just open it up. And here's the inside of the amplifier. Basically, here's the battery. If you open that up, you also have another switch. The bottom one says low power and the top one says high power. And I believe what it does is that basically if you put on low power, it won't use as much power, so it will stay alive longer. So basically, you won't use as much battery. And for the high power, it will use a lot of battery. And the difference is that at low power, I believe it won't do as much EQing to your EQing or amp wise, volume wise to your headphone, but it's not that big of a difference, so it shouldn't really matter. I just like to put on low just because it saves more battery. Also, the battery life on these amplifier, once it's completely charged, I would say on their website it says that it's about, for the battery life for the amplifier is about 10 hours, and I think that's probably right. I mean, I use it for a week and it still lasts a week, and I probably listen to my headphone for about 2 hours, so it's pretty good, pretty long battery. So that's that. Basically, the way I use it with my iPod is I use Velcro to attach it. As you see here, I added some Velcro right here, and I also added some Velcro on my iPod case. Again, you can use it with any kind of MP3 player. And basically, I just attach it just like that, and it stays together. It fits in your pocket. It will kind of budge out, but it's fine for me. So basically, what you also need is a cable to go to your source to your amplifier. Basically, there's two different kind of cables. You can use your LED cable, which goes to your pin, your 3-pin, and you also have your jack, your regular 3.5 millimeter jack cord. Basically, if you use the LED cable, which I brought from fiio as well, costs you about $9. It will basically, what it does is that once you attach it to your 3-pin, it bypasses the internal amp on your iPod. So the only thing that's switching your volume is this volume knob, and it's not being amped at all from the iPod. The only amp being used is this amplifier right here. So basically, just to show you, once you put it on there, there is no volume knob on the iPod. As you can see, there's no volume knob. If you take it out, you suddenly have your volume knob right there. Once you plug it in, it just goes away. So the only thing you can use is this volume knob right here. However, you don't need to use it. You can also use your standard 3.5 millimeter jack cable. First of all, you're gonna have to plug in here to your jack. And the thing for this one though, you do use the internal amp, so it's gonna be amped on your iPod as well as your amplifier. And from what I hear, it's not much of a difference, but I do think that with the LED cable, there is a slight clarity to it, and it does sound better for me. It might not to you, but it does for me. So I like to use the LED cable instead. So that's what I use. So this is how I use my iPod. It's a great amp, amplifies your headphone, brings out the bass as well, and I actually recommend it with any kind of MP3 source or any kind of amp. There's other amps as well that cost cheaper. There's like this $21 amp by the same company, fiio company. I believe that one's much more smaller. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the e11 or something. And basically, it's a small size, about that small. It's like a little square. And there's another one which is more rectangular that long. That costs about $7. But if you really want an amp, you should probably buy the e11. This works very well. So yeah, this is how I use my headphone. This is how I use my amplifier. Just to show you, this is how my headphone would sound without the amp. This is at full volume. And this is with the amp. You can tell there's a huge difference in volume once you have the amp on. And just to show you, I'm not going to put it all the way because I'm afraid I'm going to break my headphone. So this is about halfway. As you can see, it kind of sounds the same even when the volume knob is halfway. Just think about it. If you turn it all the way up, it's going to be much more louder. And actually, sound quality to it does not change at all. There's no distortion or anything like that. So that's another great thing about these amplifiers, that it does not distort with high volumes. So I think that's about it. Really recommend this amplifier. It's a great amplifier.